The wrong strategy can completely derail a good business, but the right one can change your life forever. I've realized that a good strategy can and should stand the test of time, and these strategies have generated over $100 million in clothing brand sales. So in this video, I'm going to show you the exact strategies to choose from, the right one for your business, and how to use them step by step. And no, you don't need to have some kind of crazy business acumen or understanding to implement these strategies. All right, so back in 2015, we used a combination of these strategies, and then we had to break them down piece by piece because every business is a little bit different, and a true strategy, as I mentioned, should be able to stand the test of time. So what we were doing was we were saying, okay, you don't have much money, you're just starting out, just focus on organic. And that's a great approach. However, Facebook's not the same anymore, Instagram's not the same anymore, so organic reach isn't really the most viable option. But what we were doing at the time, and something I think you can use throughout and what we'll dive into with each one of these strategies, I'm gonna break down 3 of them for you, is that you can use the principles or the things that we talk about within them to help you grow your brand. So anyway, back in 2015, we were focused on video content and then reaching more people organically on Facebook. It did really well. We leveraged that. We created a Facebook group. We ended up getting like 15 to 20,000 people in that Facebook group. And that ultimately is what started the brand. Everything has to have some kind of start or spark to get this thing ignited. And what really worked with this was just understanding the actual audience. So organic, if you cannot resonate with an audience, creating more content will not work. So we're gonna talk a little bit about those types of strategies and each one of these that we break down. Overarching, what is the messaging? But organic, it is very hard to make that work if you don't get the messaging right, because it will never be shared, it will never be commented on, it will never be liked, and it will be very difficult to get that content to get in front of new people. All right, so strategy 1. These 3 strategies can be used for anybody, but I'm gonna say strategy 1 is more for the beginner or people just starting out. It's one that costs very little to no money. And then strategy 2 and strategy 3 are a little bit more advanced and they kind of compound on each other. So if you already got this first one, great. Go ahead and watch through this because I think it'll be helpful for you, but it's gonna be a great base for strategy 2 and strategy 3. So the organic content strategy is for those people who have more time than money. Right? You are the person who is likely taking your side hustle to a full-time. You're probably working a full-time job. Maybe you're a doctor, maybe you're a lawyer, maybe you're a college student, whatever it is, you're trying to take it from part-time to full-time and make this brand work. A couple of things you've got to do is 1, we got to post more often at the highest quality. Where those 2 intersect is where we're going to make the most money. Because a lot of people tell you out on the internet to post so many pieces of content, and I agree with that, you should. But other people say no, focus on really good high quality content, and I think it's both of those. There's actually a brand out there, he does really well in the marketing space, a really cool guy, I respect him, but what he's doing is just publishing a lot of content. I mean, probably 100 pieces of content every single month, if not more, which is great. I think he also publishes, you know, when he distributes, it's probably 1,000. But the quality of the content is super low. Whereas you compare this to somebody like, if you guys are familiar with Mr. Beast, it's the largest YouTuber on YouTube, and he posts once a week. He's actually increased his frequency, but it's high quality. And so you got 2 opposite spectrums there, right? Somebody who posts a little bit less frequent and somebody posts more. And I think the sweet spot is right there in the middle. Going back to Mr. Beast's story, if you know, sometimes he would go a month or 2 months without posting content. And for the last probably 3 or 4 months, he's posted every single week. So he's not only increased quality, but the frequency, because he knows that he needs to get his content out a lot. So the same thing for you. You have to put out content, but I want you to do it at a high quality, because if it is a higher quality, then you're going to be able to resonate with an audience. So we'll talk a little bit more about how to actually implement that strategy step by step in a second, but the intersection of quality and quantity must happen, right? So that's the first one. I'm not gonna use any type of paid advertising in this first strategy. It's for people just starting out or trying to take the side hustle to a full-time business. The second strategy, though, is a little bit more advanced. This is taking the combination of organic and paid. And so once you have a good combination of organic, high quality, you can take those and put money behind them. I say for people just starting out, especially clothing brands, you want to run ads on Facebook and Instagram. And people often ask me, well, I do so much better on Instagram. Should I just use Ads Manager to run ads on Instagram? The answer is no, because you don't know where your audience is at exactly. And if Facebook or Meta spends all of your money on Instagram, then great. But I want the option to where if I can get a lower cost per purchase and there is a couple people over on Facebook, then great. There's billions of people there. Your audience is likely there, so let's not avoid it. Strategy 2. This is for the brands or the people who are maybe they're generating a $500, $1,000, a couple thousand, maybe $5,000 a month. They can bolt on this strategy, they can use it for their brand, and they can use this to scale to $10,000 to $50,000 to $100,000 months. Doing it the right way is the most important. Now, you may be watching this and say, I'm a beginner, so I'm gonna focus on the ads and organic. I'm gonna move to strategy 2 without doing the organic. I would not do that, because the reason that strategy 2 will work is because you've figured out your audience. And let me dive a little bit deeper into this here in a second, but the audience side, or the messaging piece, is got to be figured out. And like I said, we're gonna dive deep into the audience side, and I think that will make more sense as you choose which strategy is gonna be the best for you. So right now we've had strategy 1, all organic, and it's for more of the beginner strategy. You're just starting your brand. Strategy 2 is for somebody who has time. Maybe they're just starting out, but they also have money. And again, they have figured out their audience. You'll know if you figured out your audience when we get to this next step here in a second. I'm gonna walk you through that. But if you haven't figured out your audience, probably don't go to stage 2. Strategy number 2, rather. Strategy number 3, this is for the most advanced people. This is for the people who are already generating $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month and are trying to look for a new way, a new approach to get this to $500,000, $1 million per month, $10 million plus per year. If you're trying to do that, it's gonna look completely different than somebody who's in strategy 2 or strategy 1. Those strategies, strategy 1 and strategy 2, again, they're more beginner to intermediate. And jumping to strategy 3, where you're like, I wanna make $1 million per year and I wanna do all of these things, that's fine. I want you to as well, but it's a progression for a reason. I want you to build a solid foundation. Some of you guys are gonna ignore everything that I say and you're just gonna jump to this strategy and you're gonna literally spend all of your money, burn out, and then wonder why the business doesn't work, and then come back to this video and then rewatch it again. But for those of you who are taking and heeding what I'm saying here, this is also for you if you're to this actual stage, because this is a very important part of the business and it allows you to grow. As you grow, you get more problems or bigger problems. I consider them better problems, but you're gonna run into stuff at this stage 3 or the strategy number 3 that you wouldn't in the first one or the second one, but that's fine because they're a bigger problem. Don't just go in there and try to solve this from the very beginning, because if you do that, it's very difficult for your business to stick around or even survive. So I don't want to sound dramatic, so please don't take it that way, because you can pivot, right? That's a possibility. But getting your messaging and business model wrong has put more people out of business than literally anything else. You have to have profit and you must talk to a very specific audience. Rarely does a business succeed outside of those 2 points. When we work with brands in our OSO program, it's the biggest telltale sign on whether or not I believe they're going to be successful. And I never tell somebody that. I don't say I don't think you're going to be successful, but fully transparently, if they don't have profit in their business and they don't know who they're talking to, great designs for a t-shirt or an amazing dress bought by somebody else from market as a boutique owner will not grow your business. It will not. So let's jump into your options and then you can choose. But the first thing I need you to do is understand your audience. And I talked about this earlier. So let's make this all make a little bit more sense. I don't know how my hands are gonna work exactly here, but let's just go ahead and talk through this. So the first thing you have to understand about your messaging is that there is a problem. A person actually has a problem. We call this a SA, or struggling avatar. So there's a person over here who has a problem and you are going out there to solve it. Now, you're saying,
how does this apply to a clothing brand? I'm just selling clothes to make people feel better.
Okay, well, that's still a problem then. Let's take a couple of examples. So if you're a boutique owner and you're like, well, I'm selling clothes. Okay, well, what is the customer's problem? What's their mass desire? They want to look good at an affordable price most of the time. So that's an option. They also may want to look good and make other people think or believe that they also have certain level of status because they buy certain things. Why do people buy Louis Vuitton? It's not because it's the best quality. It is a good quality. It's not the best, but the association with Louis Vuitton is a lot higher than anything else. So the problem is, we'll go to this example for that boutique. This one woman, who we'll call her Stacy, wants to look great, but she doesn't have a ton of money. So she finds a boutique online. That's solving a problem. So you have a struggling avatar. And then what you need is a solution. So that's where your business comes into play. This is called the unique solution. So step 2. Step 2 is, what is my unique solution? Well, we offer, and for example, there's out there, we offer the most beautiful dresses that are eco-friendly, that are fair trade, that are organic, etc. And they're affordable, and they're for this exact type of person, right? So we have Stacy over here who has a problem, who wants to wear great quality clothes, but her problem is that she's not able to fit into one, or one that she feels like is a good value. She can't find her size, etc. Right? So that's the struggling part here. We offer a very unique solution with our boutique. And then we need to talk about what is their life going to be like afterwards. So once they go through that transformation, they go from a problem, they offer a solution, and then when you get to this third stage over here, what is the future pace here? What does the future look like for this person? So Stacy went from literally sad face to smiley face. And so her life over here, we can make assumptions, but she's probably going to be a better wife. She's probably going to be more happy to her friends. She's going to be more outgoing. Maybe she's more philanthropic. Like, she's starting to feel good and feel better about herself because she looks great in the outfit. She can go on date night. She can go travel. She can do all of these things. Like, I'm making this up. But my point is that this person has a problem, you have a unique solution, and with that unique solution, you give an amazing outcome. If you can paint that picture, then you understand your audience. And when you can dive deep into those things, then you can start to cut through a lot of the noise. Same thing goes for a streetwear brand. People are like,
well, I don't have a problem with streetwear brand. I wanna represent this community, whoever it is.
Right? Like, so Chiefs fans out there, or whomever, or Cowboys fans, I'm just talking about sports, or it could be literally, we have an OSM member who's from Florida. It's like diehard people, Floridians. They have a problem. There's not really cool apparel that they could wear that represents their city, or something that doesn't look like a generic logo from an NFL franchise, like something that has a cool design. So that's a problem. And then a unique solution is unique design for those streetwear brands. And then the solution, or the person afterwards, rather, is a happier person, somebody who looks cool, stands out. All of those things have to happen. So they all go through the same 3 stages. And when you can understand what that looks like for your business, then every single one of these marketing strategies that I'm talking to you about will make so much more sense, because you'll cut through the noise. And remember, do not go past strategy 1 until you've figured these 3 things out. Again, this is something I've asked previously on a video. We can talk about messaging and understanding your target audience and all of that. So if you are interested in a video like that, just comment the word messaging down below. I am looking at every single comment, and if we get enough of those, I will create a video on the in-depth analysis of like how to figure out your exact customer avatar. So how do you apply this for strategy number 1? Very simply, because of that problem that somebody has, a lot of your organic content should be focused on that problem. I would go to TikTok first. I would use TikTok organic content to focus on the problem at hand. Again, going back to the boutique, you could literally offer styling tips, and you would just come and create a ton of content, putting out several pieces of content every single day organically on TikTok, and distributing that across other platforms as well. In the next part of this video, I'm going to show you exactly step by step what you need to do, but this gives you a little bit of an overview of what needs to happen, right? So you start with the problem, and don't worry about the solution too much yet. Just focus on the problem and continue to reiterate that you understand the problem your target audience has, and continue to create that content. And then at the end of the video, do a nice little call to action that this is a solution. Send people to your website. You're not really trying to be salesy here. You're trying to add value. Strategy number 2, you want to do that same organic content, and you want to, again, test out different variations of adding value to somebody with a good call to action, jumping on trends, trending sounds, specifically on TikTok or Instagram Reels. And then the only other thing I want you to do at this point is to put them into ads at a smaller budget, $20, $30, $40, $50 a day to start. If you don't have more than $30 a day, you may go after something else. If it's a completely brand new account, you probably shouldn't be doing strategy number 2, but if you do have a decent amount of organic following, or you've seen some success with strategy number 1, then you can move to the second strategy. And I would put that $30 a day. You go for purchases. If that's not working for you, you could go down to maybe an add to cart, initiate checkout, something, but you really just need the data, something from Facebook and Instagram underneath the Meta umbrella to make that work. Again, you could use TikTok ads, you could use Pinterest ads, etc. I just, for the purpose of this video and what's going to work for your brand, that is what I would do. So use Meta ads, $20, $30 a day, start that out, take your best organic content, put it on top of some advertising dollars. When you do that, you're going to get traffic to the site, and then that puts you in a very nice position to actually make a little bit of money. and we move you to strategy number 3, which is much more advanced, and honestly, it's just more in depth from strategy number 2. One thing I do want to mention about strategy number 2 and strategy 1 in general is please make sure that your email and SMS is set up. We suggest Klaviyo. You could look at PostScript or Attentive. It doesn't really matter. I do prefer Klaviyo. There is no affiliation or anything like that. I just think it's probably the easiest for you to use, and it's the best probably for clothing brands and Shopify and any type of connection. Make sure the email and SMS is set up and in place, because that's where a lot of your revenue is going to come. All right, so strategy number 3, what I want you to set up is an ambassador and affiliate program, and it's not that you can't do it in the other 2 stages. Please hear me when I say it. You can do it in the other 2 stages, but you likely don't have the time or the energy because you're still figuring out your content and your messaging. Set up an ambassador funnel and affiliate type funnel. I want you to use ads. I want you to continue to post content organically. I want you to make sure the email and SMS are in place. This is the foundation that we talk about, our e-com accelerator process, and it goes through step by step exactly what to do for that. Again, to kind of recap for those who have never seen that video. Number 1, most important thing for the e-com accelerator is to have a high converting site. You can do that, it's free. There's also a way that you can do, you can comment the word optimizer down below, and we'll send you like a checklist of exactly what you need to do to optimize your website. Number 2 is traffic. We've talked about that here, organic and paid. The third area is profit. I'm mentioning it right now, right? Your email and SMS. The fourth one is customer experience. So your shipping time, your packaging, your customer service, all of that wrapped into one. And the fifth one is that ambassador funnel, the UGC, the influencer. All of those are the foundation to grow your business. When you get to strategy 3, you've really started to use all 5 of these pillars to grow your brand. Do not try to do everything at once. I promise you it will be a little overwhelming and you may not make any traction at all. You end up running in too many directions. Okay, so hold up just one second. I want to say that before we get into how to make these strategies implemented step by step, if you're a clothing brand owner and want to jump into the specifics of your brand and how to grow it profitably online, you can schedule a free 45-minute strategy session with us. There are limited spots, so go find a time right now that works for you. You can check it out by clicking the link in the description down below. Okay, so grab something to take notes with. This will need to be implemented step by step. Strategy number 1, I want you to create 3 pieces of original content based off of solving the problem for the clothing brand audience that you are serving. So what is a struggling avatar? I want you to create content. 3 pieces of original content can be done on your iPhone. If you have another camera, that's completely fine as well. It doesn't matter. Create that pieces of content. I want you to distribute in 4 places. Those places are Facebook. Now, I would actually like for you to originate this on TikTok, but however you feel more comfortable, that's fine, whether it's Instagram or TikTok, but preferably TikTok. But then distribute it on Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, like I said, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. You could also redistribute that exact same content on Pinterest as a rich pin as well. So it just kind of depends on how you want to do that. So you're going to distribute that. You're going to do 3 times per day of original pieces of content, 4 different places. It's going to create roughly 360 pieces of content per month. Now remember, it's that high quality and the frequency. That is where we want to be. Your goal at this point in strategy number 1 is to generate 100 to 200 to 300,000 impressions and get 10,000 people to the site. When you get 10,000 people to the site at a high converting site, we turn this either into $5,000 to $8,000 to $10,000 per month. And that is with just creating content to drive traffic. That's not really email or SMS, but if you do those things, it gets you to that higher 10,000 or above strategy. The most important thing here is the frequency, the consistency, and the quality, okay? The best thing I would suggest for you to do is go out there and mimic right now. There's 3 stages of a business when they create content that I think you should look into. So number 1 is to imitate. Go find somebody. And actually, if you comment the word foreplay, I'll send you our links. We update this quarterly. So if you've commented before and got foreplay and you got that link, that was the most update at that point. So every single quarter, or season rather, we update to what's working right now. So, and then you can go mimic. So imitate the people who are doing well, and then iterate your own versions of it, and then innovate and come up with your own ideas. I think innovation probably is way down the line, but strategy number 1, that can get you to the $10,000 per month. Strategy number 2, take all of strategy number 1, and the pieces of content that are doing really well, I want you to put $20 to $30 a day behind it. I want you to go for purchases. I want you to set up a dynamic creative ad, which allows you to do multiple different ads inside of there. And it will allow you to, I would do a 3 pieces of content, so same type of images or same type of videos, concepts. And since you've created so much content already, you already have that to choose from. But you got some winners, and those winners are anything that's like, if you're getting 100 views or 500 views, something that goes to 1,000 or 2,000 just is an outlier. Then you put those pieces of content as a dynamic creative inside of Facebook ads, and then you put it at $20, $30 a day. You go for purchases, and you let that run for a very long period of time. If something goes out of stock, then we recreate it with the new things that are in stock. I prefer that you create evergreen content, which is why I mentioned in the first part of the strategy to make sure that you're adding value to somebody, because then it doesn't really matter what you're wearing. If you're adding value to somebody, it should be evergreen, so you can run this for a long period of time. That's a very key focus here. With strategy number 2, I want to make sure that your email and SMS are set up. You also have Klaviyo flows or automations for people who add to cart, initiate checkout, abandon anything. Like, I want those emails to go out. This is going to be 20-30% of your revenue. And so as you're doing 10, 20, 30, $50,000, $100,000 a month, this can be anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000 a month in email and SMS. Once you get 1,000 people on your engaged list, I want you to send out 3 emails per week. If you are 500, 600 people on SMS, I want you to send out 1 to 2 SMSs per week. Strategy number 2, like I said, can get you to that 6-figure per month mark. And the very last step here, or the third strategy, is more advanced. So I want you to create everything that you've done from strategy number 1 and strategy number 2. They build on each other, but add in an ambassador funnel, affiliate funnel. Right now there's social snowball. You could use referral candy if you're familiar with something a little bit more old school. And there's also another one, I cannot think of the name of it right now, but anyway, those are the 2 I would suggest. One's a little bit more old school, been around for a long time. One's a little bit more new school, probably more relevant just design-wise, but they both work. So create an ambassador affiliate program, because the only thing that ever compounds in business is referral and word of mouth. So if we can turn those people into ambassadors to create content, and we can use this funnel to generate sales from it, then we now have an acquisition channel that not only brings in new customers, but does it profitably. As you set this up, I want you to make sure that you are giving some kind of deal, but you must ask these people if they are willing to purchase from you. And so you give them a great 20% discount and then a percentage of a deal for anything that they sell in the future. And now you can use their content to then post on your organic content and your ads, and whichever ones actually take off organically, you could run ads to generate even more revenue. Again, doubling down on email and SMS, very, very important here. If you get 10,000 to 15,000 people per month, I want you to install some software called Retention. You can go to retention.com. There's also a link in the description, but that's going to allow you to collect all the email addresses for every single person who visits your site, who adds to cart but doesn't give you an email address. This will add a huge amount of revenue. Right now, it does about 6x for every $1 that we spend. So we spend $1, we make $6 in return for everything that we're doing inside of Retention right now. And then if you get to, I would say, about $100,000 per month, then I want you to check out Postpilot, and Postpilot will allow you to send postcards, which sounds crazy. It sounds very old school. I understand that. But people who add to cart or initiate checkout, if they can get something physical in their hands from something digital that they see online, they will read it, they will go online again, and they will convert. We see on average, for every $1 spent, about a 20 to 30% or 20 to 30x return for everything that's spent on the postcard side. Doesn't start to make sense until you're making about 100K per month, but that's why you're in strategy number 3. Okay, so now that you've chosen a strategy to implement, you have got to understand how to use paid ads to drive even more traffic and sales for your brand. So go watch this video on Facebook ads right here next. All right, y'all, have a great rest of your day. I will see you next time, and P.S., make sure you subscribe.